going on, everyone? Valeria here, and in today's video we are finally gonna talk about my differing journey. So it's been like a short journey so far because I'm only in my 9th week of using Differin, but still it feels like a struggle because it really is, or I mean, at least it really was for me. I have to say that I knew what I was getting into before using it because I read a lot and I watched so many videos and read so many reviews about people who had used Differin. And I knew it wasn't gonna be easy, so I said, okay, like you have to be strong. It required a lot of strength, actually. As you might know, before using Differin, you have to be prepared to hang in there because there are going to be so many side effects at the beginning that it can be discouraging. It's not said that that you're going to experience all of them or some of them. Some people just have it super smooth. In my case, it wasn't super smooth. I had to deal especially with purging. My skin was never itchy, was never red, except here. I had a bad reaction right here and here. Like, I haven't recovered yet because I still put nothing on here other than the Eucerin Aquaphor. But other than that, I have had no stinging, no redness, no itchiness whatsoever on my face. Peeling, I've had moderate peeling. I can put a little picture to show you. Just here, like I was breaking out, I was purging really bad, and at some point I started peeling majorly where I had a big breakout right in this corner here. But other than that, like no peeling. Purging, oh my god, that was terrible. Like I knew that was gonna happen. My skin has never been that bad in my whole life. With all the acne I've had, my skin has never been that bad, and I was really discouraged. Also because I was reading that purging usually lasts about 2 to 4 weeks. It can last longer, but usually the time is 2 to 4 weeks. And oh my god, after 4 weeks I was still purging really bad, and I was like, why, what's going on? Maybe this is not the cream for me. I'm using the cream because my skin is more dry and dehydrated than oily, so I'm not using the gel, I'm using the cream. And I was like, oh my god, maybe there's something in here breaking me out. It doesn't really contain anything that could have possibly breaking me out. It has a squalane, but I've used squalane before. It hasn't broken me out, so I started looking for more reviews, more experience, and people were like, oh my god, yeah, I was purging really badly for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So I said, okay, it's normal, and especially it happens that the purge lasts so long. If you have comedonal acne, so if you have these tiny bumps or that you can see under your skin and that come out in a kind of a long time. But what Differin does is that it eliminates the dead skin, so the gunk, the sebum, comes out a lot quicker. So instead of seeing all the little comedones, one comes out this week, one comes out in 2 weeks, one comes out in a month, they all come out at the same time. And it's just like they keep coming out and coming out. And oh my god, I was just really discouraged and I was feeling really ugly. But I said, okay, this is gonna bring me somewhere. I just have to hang in there. And I was really upset. And yeah, it was really hard. And still, things are not going fantastic, but they're going a little bit better. So I was purging here, all around my mouth, chin, jawline, and I had some occasional breakouts also on my forehead, but I have never really broken out on my forehead because mine is hormonal acne, so it's here. Um, what I have noticed, like really quickly after, I would say maybe not 1 week, but after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what I noticed that my skin had already changed is the cell turnover. So I've always had this thick layer. My skin has always been really thick, and I've always had this thick layer of dead skin that was really hard to get rid of. So mandelic acid was too weak for me. Lactic acid was not doing much. Glycolic acid was stinging. My skin has never agreed with glycolic acid. It was not working because my skin was itchy and stinging, so I could not use that one. Obviously, I'm not using physical scrub. And after 2 weeks, I would say 2-3 weeks of using Differin, my skin cell turnover normalized. Like, I guess that this is what happens to a normal person. So my skin, I don't see that thick layer of that skin that makes my face looking dull anymore. I don't see it anymore. And if I have this, see, now I have a few little breakouts still. Like, I have it one day, at night I put Differin. The day after, it's already like sealed with this with the skin, and maybe in another half day, one more day, the dead skin comes off and it's ready to heal. Obviously I'm left with the scar, with the hyperpigmentation, but it doesn't take days to heal, which it used to be before using Differin. I can say that since I've started using Differin, I've gone on a skincare diet. Now everything is really to the bare minimum now. So I just want to tell you quickly how I started using Differin, because obviously my skin has retinized, so it has gotten used to retinoid, and I've increased the frequency of use and how I apply it. So at the beginning, for a couple of weeks, the first couple of weeks, I was using Differin buffered, which means that I was applying my moisturizer before putting Differin. And I was using a pea-size amount as suggested, and I was using Differin every other night. So I was using 1 day Differin buffered, 1 day off, 1 day Differin buffered, 1 day off for the first couple of weeks. Then, since it seemed that my skin was doing fine, I started using Differin buffered every single night, skipping occasionally maybe one night after the first 2 weeks. I've increased the Differin use, still buffered, but every night. So after 2 more weeks, so after a total of 4 weeks, I stopped buffering my Differin, which means that I was washing my face with my cleanser, applying a thin layer of my Hada Labo premium lotion, hydrating lotion. Then I was putting my little eye cream, my little Eucerin Aquaphor on this area, because I told you that it was really irritated. And then I was putting Differin all over my face, being careful to not go here, in the right beside my nose or too close to my mouth, but putting Differin all over, then wait for 30-40 minutes, even more if I was forgetting about it, and then put a layer of moisturizer on top. And I've been doing this ever since. Now that I'm on my period, so my hormones are calm and I'm past the 8th week, so I'm in the 9th week, it seems like my skin is calming down. I still have occasional breakouts. Plus, I was traveling in the past 3 days, and when I travel, it's different water. If the water is harder or softer, that makes a difference on my skin because it's so sensitive that everything has an impact. I was sleeping in airport, so you know, all the germs, I was sleeping on my jacket and with my head falling on my jacket and stuff. The pillow that I had at the hostel was so big I couldn't fit it in my silk pillowcase, so sleeping on cottons, it still has a different effect on my skin. And I was catching planes, so the hair is so dry and it makes my skin act different. Plus, I used to live in Sweden all this time that I was doing this differing process, which is a lot drier than in Italy where I am now. So, you know, also dealing with all the humidity here and all the traveling things I mentioned, I'm having a few breakouts more, but it's nothing compared to the purge I went through. And I have to say that the last 3 days I just don't put moisturizer because first of all this is a cream, so it's moisturizing, and also on its own, and it's so humid that I literally really don't need a moisturizer because I'm just sweating and this is enough. um, well, I mean, that's about it. um, I'm not sure that Differing is acting very efficiently on my acne. Um, I'm not sure that this is gonna fix my issue, but I will still keep using it, and at least for a full year. Then after that, I think if things haven't improved like noticeably, I think I will probably try to step up the game and try maybe, you know, see a dermatologist and see if it's the case to get to tretinoin or even just maybe retinaldehyde, you know. But for a full year, I totally want to be committed to Differin. Obviously, now I'm working with this hyperpigmentation that I have left from all the purging. Um, yeah, I was really, really upset with how bad I was looking during the purging. So if anyone is using Differin and is going through the ugly phase, so maybe peeling or redness or purging or just a few of these, I know how you feel. I've been there. I'm not sure that this is not gonna happen again because, you know, next time that my hormones go out of whack, probably I'm gonna be purging and be looking like so bad again. But you know, that's what acne people are used to. Obviously, I hope that's not gonna happen again and that the different effects will keep showing and keep improving my skin more and more. So this video is already very long. Thank you so much for sticking by. I will probably make a video about my skincare routine on Differin, and the products that I've given up because they were really not working well with Differin. The products that I've introduced because using Differin I've started having different issues, so I need to use them now. So if you're interested, just subscribe and come back to see how my skincare routine is doing now. So, well, thanks for following me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!